what if you fix it and do all this work and then you don't buy it? I said, I'm going to put in writing that if I don't buy it within the 12 to 18 months, you keep all the work and the option $100,000 that I'll give you. So he said out loud, wow, I hope you don't buy it. Slip of the tongue. He wishes me ill, but it's all right. When you have love for something and you meet hatred, the only answer is more love. So first right of refusal, let's first define what this is. You go to somebody and you say to them, I'd like, when you're ready to sell, I'd like to have the first right of refusal. Well, it sounds great, but why would the seller give me that first right? He's asking, and the follow-up to his question is say, this will require zero money or very little earnest money. Well, first of all, if that's the case, it will require money, period. There's no zero down for first right. So imagine you guys own a building. Somebody comes to you and says, let's say Oshin, hi Oshin, you have a building, I'd like first right of refusal on your building. Well, Oshin is gonna say, okay, well give me 50,000, non-refundable, and anytime in the next 5 years, if I sell the building, I'll give you the first right of refusal. I'll let you know when I want to sell it. And for any of you, that's what's gonna be the case. But so first right of refusal is right obtained through purchase of the right. You have to pay for that right. That's number one. Number two, what's going to happen is, like when somebody comes to me and say, I'd like first right of refusal, it usually is going to be a tenant. So you get that if you're going to lease a building. So if you're going to lease an office space, a dental space, any building, you can say, I'd like to lease and I'd like the option to purchase. I'd like the option to purchase. Somebody has a strip mall, you're gonna lease a little place to put your building. Tell them I'd like the first right of refusal if you're gonna sell the strip mall. And we can do it based on appraisal. So you're gonna have to discuss first right of refusal based on what price? Maybe based on no price. Maybe based on whenever the seller decides to sell. So I've done that a lot, but the way I've done it was I would go to people. That's how I ended up with so many buildings next to each other in Old San Juan. I would go to somebody and I would say, sir, ma'am, would you like to sell? No, we're not interested in selling. If you sell, when would it be? Oh, maybe in 5 to 7 years when the kids grow up and move to Orlando. Okay, I would like to give you some money right now just to have the first right of refusal and first right to counter. First right of refusal. So you're gonna offer it to me first, so I can refuse to buy it. Then you can go out there. When somebody makes you an offer, I have the right to counter. So I say first right of refusal and first right to counter. So then the person says, how much money can you give me? I'll give you 50,000. Well, immediately, whatever price I'm gonna give them, they're gonna counter. Well, can you make it 100,000? Okay, then the next question is, and what price will you be asking? How would we set a price? Now, if they say, well, at that time we can appraise the building. Okay, let's get 3 appraisals and get the average of the 3. Now, I know appraisers here are very conservative. So if I'm gonna buy it from the appraiser, I'm gonna be making 20% profit, no doubt. Appraisers here are lost. Every area has weaknesses, and the weakness here is that appraisers are very, very conservative, just that's the way it is. As a matter of fact, most listings in the island of Puerto Rico say, we want 1.7 million, not contingent on appraisal, because the appraiser is going to come appraise at 1.3 or something. It's kind of humorous, but it's just a checklist for the bank sheet. So I would offer somebody money within a certain period of time and based on a formula for the price. Sometimes they would say, okay, instead of first right of refusal, I just say, I'd like the option to buy the building at, let's say, 1.7, and I'd like the option for 5 years. So it's a pure option, because what ends up happening is the building ends up going up in value through the years, and now it's worth 2 million, but I have the option to buy it at 1.7. Guess what? I exercise my option or I sell it. There was a guy that just came to my office, and he's doing it in a place here, where when he came to lease, his wife said, I'm not so sure I want to live here, I have a lease first. So he did a lease with an option to buy instead of first right of refusal. Well, and he has 3 years. Well, 3 years later, the property went up 300,000. So now they say, we love the area, but we're gonna sell, and instead of living in the condo of the building, we're just gonna pay a little bit more and go get a house. Now they're gonna make 300,000. And he literally is selling the option for 300,000, somebody else to take over that apartment with a view, and he's gonna go buy a house. So conceptually, first right of refusal makes sense, but you need to discuss how much money you're gonna put. If they're clever, they will ask you for proof of funds that you have some money. If not, you can tell them we'll discuss it when we're gonna do it. They're gonna take your money anyway. They may be excited that they're gonna save some money for brokers' commissions. You can walk away and lose that little money you put, so you're under no obligation to purchase, and it may be easier to obtain. As an owner, I could give somebody first right, but usually it's a tenant. A tenant comes in and says, how much do you want? I know the building is worth 1.7 million. So I say, okay, if you want to have a purchase option to buy it within, let's say, 3 years, a lease option, I'll give it to you for 2 million. So I'm already building out the future price. What does he do? He puts a lease with an option to buy. We sometimes increase the lease a little bit and put part of the lease toward the down payment. This way he builds credibility with the bank for the down payment. He shows a history of payments. He maintains the building, so it's good for me, and I have a built-in buyer. And if he doesn't buy, we work out a compromise. There was a guy who wanted to buy within 12 months. COVID hit. He called me. He said, oh my God, I have my daughter, I have my this. I said, hey, no problem. I'll give you back your option. Just get out. He ended up continuing to lease at a higher price. It was a win-win. And ironically, there is a good karma in it, because a few months later, when COVID finished, properties went through the roof because scarce inventory. I'm sure he regrets not buying, but I helped him when he couldn't buy. So everybody wins. All right, long answer for this question. All right. And by the way, if you're gonna give somebody an option to buy your building or first right of refusal, make sure you put that when you notify them, they must respond within 3 business days or 5 calendar days. Holy Moses, I had a first right of refusal on a building. And the guy wrote 90 days. I had 90 days to respond to him. And then he made a mistake. The first right of refusal and option to buy, believe it or not, was open. Like no expiration date. It will be for me or my kids. 11 years later, he contacted me and he said, okay, you have the first right of refusal and you need to buy not 1 building, but 3 because I'm dying. So I went to buy the first, I bought the second, the third one I'm buying. I found out he also gave a first right of refusal to the tenant that was in the building. So imagine the confusion. So he said, oh my God, I messed up, but I'm in the emergency room now, I'm dying. What are you gonna do, sue me? You know, they say on earth as it is in heaven. I think I could enforce the lawsuit in heaven. I don't know what I will collect. Maybe they have Bitcoin, I don't know what they have. But I figured, no man, I'm not gonna sue you, but let's wait for the tenant to respond to the first right. I knew the tenant wasn't gonna buy the whole building, but I had to wait 90 days. He died 60 days later. I had to exercise my right to buy that third one, which he messed up and gave it to 2 people. I should have recorded it. The mistake I made is when you have a first right or an option, you got to record it as a lien so they cannot put it with anybody else. So you will have the right. Learn from my mistakes. Ended up getting the building. It's one of my biggest and best buildings ever, but